Alright guys, it's Clayton and Riley back here with SPPTV. Yeah. Today's project, as you've seen before, this is Riley's 83 Mustang with 85 front end and LS swapped and yada yada yada. You ended up going 1290s this year.
1299, yeah. So expected around that, but
yeah, we were kind of hoping for mid 12s, but whatever. You're gonna start somewhere. It's basically a stone stock 5.3 cam headers. Cam that's probably too big. Headers that are probably too big. And but we're gonna upgrade some stuff this winter. And what are we gonna start with here?
starting with the front suspension and 5-lug swap.
So yeah, let's see, what do we got here? Some of the stuff we bought at the end of last year with the intention of doing it this winter. So start with the UPR caster camber plates, set of 9010 Lakewood struts, set of Viking coil over springs, the rest of the coil over kit, Steeda bump steer kit, and the tubular control arms. And because we're switching to the GT brakes, we need the V8 spindles. So we got those. And like Riley said, the 5-lug new front rotors. We have new calipers coming.
We also got disc brakes for the rear too, but we'll be doing that later.
Yeah, that'll be the next part of the video. This part's just gonna be the front end. So anyway, Riley's got it up on jack stands here. It's kind of a shame because it basically had all brand new suspension, struts, ball joints, everything last year, but we'll take that stuff off and either put it on the shelf or sell it and put the drag race orientated stuff in. Get rid of that sway bar. Yeah, so ready?
Get to work.
All right, first thing we're gonna start with here is getting the brakes off, pull the rotor off. We'll undo the rack, and we'll get this side ready to drop off. Just to give you an idea of the size difference between a 4-cylinder Mustang rotor versus a V8 rotor. Not that we're looking for a bunch of braking power in a drag setup, but it should brake a lot better. Next thing we're gonna do here is we'll loosen off these 2 strut bolts, and then we'll come up top and undo the top strut bolt, and that'll all drop out. We'll get that spring out of there, and we'll get that lower control arm out of there. Not off the top strut, so we're carefully gonna lower this down. Make sure we don't lose any teeth here. I'm just gonna, yeah, okay. I always hate doing this.
Yeah, so suspenseful.
Whoop. I want to make sure that doesn't bang into your fender.
You got it? You want me to?
That's okay. You know, grab a 2x4 and just, yeah, 2x6. Just a little insurance policy here. Okay, so that's
Still hanging in there?
well, I mean, there's gonna be a little bit of, there's not much tension there right now, actually, so. Let me see here. There, a little bit of tension. Okay, and those are what? Those are factory 83 GT springs that came with the car, right? Yeah. The next thing we're gonna do is hammer out our 2 control arm bolts. I don't know if I mentioned, but Riley already has
a tubular K member.
The AGE K member in it, so 2 more bolts and then that'll be it. Riley's got everything out. We're down to bare bones here. The only thing we did forget about is with the tubular K-member, we got the spring perches there. So obviously with the coil over, we don't need the factory spring perch anymore. So we'll undo these two K-member bolts here, and we'll pull that spring perch out there and just save it for future use if need be. We'll have to weigh everything and see the weight savings of the stock stuff versus the new stuff. We'll gain on the trailing arms and the coil overs, but we'll lose a bit on the rotor and the V8 brakes. We got the factory strut mount out. We just test fit up the UPR caster camber plates, which fit good. They look good. Have to do some touch up paint back there before those go in for good. So we'll pick this project back up tomorrow. Yep. Let's go have a drink. All right, guys. So it's like 2 days later. We got all the old stuff off, like we said, and we went to put the new stuff on, and I screwed up. So maybe Riley can explain.
So with the struts, they come with these dust caps on them that you gotta drill the spot welds off
To get the
in
order for the coilover sleeve to slide over the strut.
So as we were doing that, we were worried about drilling too far in, that we'd go too far into the strut, but we actually tried hammering it off, and it pulled out right here on the strut, and juice started spraying out everywhere. So
yeah, they kind of give you two
not good.
options. Either you can grind the OD of this thing down, or you can drill out the 4 spot welds, which we did very carefully. And then, yeah, like Riley said, I was chiseling it off very lightly, or somewhat lightly, and it actually pulled, if you can see here.
What was it, this side?
Is it that side?
This one right here.
That spot weld actually pulled the body of the strut out a little bit.
We did hammer it back down a bit to try to save it.
That caused a lot of fluid to jizz all over me. So yeah, so what we're gonna end up doing to fix that, the option was to order another Lakewood 9010 strut. Strange, sells 10-way adjustables for like 20 bucks a strut cheaper or something. So
We're gonna do that.
plus that gives the adjustability to loosen them at the track and tighten them up on the street, depending on how he likes the feel of it. So those are on order. Those will be here by the end of the week. So, but what we figured we'd do in the meantime is on the left here, we've got all the stock stuff that came off, and we're gonna weigh it against all the new stuff that we're putting on and see how much we gain, including the sway bar. And although we don't have his new front tires here, we do have his wheels, so we'll do a wheel and tire.
Yes, we haven't shown them the wheels yet.
No, we're gonna do a wheel and veil. So yeah, let's get this stuff lined up here on the scale, and we'll make a tally. All right, so the first thing up on the scale here, we have the stock control arm and spindle, and I'm stupid and I can't figure out how to change this thing to pounds, so let's call that 11 kilograms. Write that down. Next we have the tubular control arm and the V8 spindles. So that comes at, we'll call that 8.4. It's already a savings, really. I can feel it. Next we got the strut and factory strut mount, spring perch, spring insulator, and the spring. And that comes in at, we'll call that 11.65. Now for the new strut, mind you, it is missing some oil, but the coilover kit, spring, and the caster camber plates come in at 7.15, we'll call it. Up next we have the 4-cylinder, or I guess was the only rotor available in 83, and caliper, and it weighs in at 11.83, we'll call it.
And this is probably where we're gonna gain a bit of weight. Is comparing the rotors, obviously a lot bigger. Same with the calipers.
Boo.
Not quite.
Maybe I should drill those out. Compared to the new heavier 5-lug rotor and V8 caliper and brake hose pads. Comes in at 14.2.
Ooh. That's
So there's a
3, 2.5.
I don't know, they're in university. Sway bar and 2 end links. This is going to be straight saving because we're not replacing it. 8.38.
Now we're going from stock wheel and tire 21.4.
Hercules. 21 point, we'll call it 4.
And this should be another big savings going to the skinnies up front and the light drag tire.
Yeah, like I said, we don't have the new tires here yet. They're on the way, so I'm just gonna Google, see how much a front tire weighs just for comparison. Next up, we got Riley's new wheels.
Yep.
He's pretty excited about them.
A lot of thinking about it. Spent pretty much all summer
I was gonna say you've been trying to pick up wheels for 6 months.
But happy what I went with.
If money was no option, you probably have
1,000 different wheels.
Yeah. Anyway, what Riley ended up going with?
Weld drag lights. So
classic drag lights, old school.
Yeah. Decided to keep it kind of a classy look.
Riley likes 80s rock and roll and shiny things. So anyway, those weigh 4.8 kilograms. And I Googled what the front radial he's getting weighs in it. It's 20 pounds, which works out, divide 2.2 is 9.1 kilograms. So we'll add those two together for that. And now we just gotta add all these numbers up.
Should be a big saving.
Should be a good saving. Okay, we got the numbers in. The votes are in. The votes are in. What do we got here, Riley?
So it came up to saving of 90.6 pounds. So pretty good.
So yeah, the stock stuff ended up weighing 64.26 kilograms. If you multiply that by 2.2 is 141.38 pounds times 2 is 282.75. And then the new stuff came to a total of 43.65 kilograms times 2.2 is 96.03 pounds times 2 is 192.1 for a savings of 90.65. So that's almost a tenth. They say on every 100 pounds
Plus,
is a tenth.
The hood we're going to the fiberglass hood, so
yeah, that'll be another. I can't even remember what a stock versus fiberglass hood is, but yeah, we're forced to take a day or two off until those new struts come, and then we'll whip that back together. I actually kind of just quickly mocked up the driver's side here because I just wanted to make sure everything fit, but there's a Superman strut there.
Yeah. New ones won't be red, but
yeah, the strange ones are black. So anyway, I just wanted to make sure everything fits, so I kind of just tossed some stuff on there. So anyway, until a couple days go by. Riley and I are back. We got our struts today in the mail from Summit. So we got our 2 strange 10-way adjustables, and we also got a set of 3-inch long studs for front and rear because with his wheels, the stock length studs are nowhere near long enough. So we'll put those in too as we go along here. So first thing is going to be to sub-assemble one of these struts, and we'll throw it in the car.
Yep, gonna look good.
Opposite of the Lakewoods, they don't have that collar.
Dust cap.
Well, it's not a dust cap. I think it's for the factory dust shield to sit on or something. Yeah. So there's no grinding or drilling to do. So slide our collar over.
Fits good at the bottom.
We'll see. Might be the first little problem here, which is not really a problem. This coilover kit, usually there's a little notch for the strut here, which is good because that locks it in and makes it easy to adjust your nut up and down. But on these ones, it interferes. So I think what we're gonna do is we're just gonna grind out a little notch for that to sit in and bottom out properly. So
I see.
you know what I mean? yeah, the Lakewood shot, it just bottoms out. This is further away, so the coil over sleeve just, which is fine, but when you go to adjust it, there's nothing holding the coil over sleeve over when you adjust the nut, which allows the whole body to turn. So we'll make that little modification quick, and that'll make adjusting ride height easier down the road. Grind a little notch in. Now, just slide that on, just like that. And now it sits all the way around the base of the strut there, so we'll have to do that.
Made to be.
The nut, obviously, with the register up, keep the spring close to the bottom for now. And then our spring, top and bottom shouldn't matter, but we'll keep the text where you can read it. The cap, Torrington bearing, washer, bearing, washer, then that.
Okay.
No, this has to go on first. That, then that, and that's it for everything from the bottom. Okay, well, we'll get that slid in.
Yeah. Yard sale. Alright, well, I guess we'll get that in position and then show them.
Yeah. All right, so we got that in place. We didn't video because it's kind of a two-man job, just manhandling in there and compressing the spring, but
Definitely looks clean. Looks good.
better than the Superman red and blue anyway. So yeah, next we'll tighten up the strut to the spindle, and we'll get a rotor on there. We got to pack some bearings full of grease. We got to change out some wheel studs.
Yeah,
so
lots to do.
That's the factory length stud. We're going to change them to the 3-inch length studs. Most sanctioning bodies want to see the end of that stud out the end of the lug nut. With the drag lights and the short stud, there's no way that was going to happen. So we'll pound these ones out and we'll install these ones in, and we'll get that rotor on there. I mean, you could press them in, but I just use a lug nut to draw them in with a washer. There you go. Ready for your drag lights. Okay, you ever packed wheel bearings?
No, that's it.
No? Well, you're gonna learn.
Yep.
Okay, we're packing wheel bearings.
Alright, we'll do that.
Riley packed some wheel bearings. It's his new favorite thing to do.
Not so much.
So yeah, we're just gonna make sure that, not that they shouldn't, but we're gonna make sure the wheels fit. Yeah. Everything fits good. Doesn't sound like it hits the caliper. We should have put the pads in to make sure, but if I push the caliper all the way back, it will actually contact the wheel. But once the pads are in, I don't think it sits that far forward. So yeah, those look good. Offset wise, that's a 4-inch wide wheel. He's got 6-inch section width tires coming, so I think those will look nice as far as stick out and stick in goes.
For sure.
All right, well, let's do the other side.
Hey.
Quality control.
Hey.
Rob's checking it out.
I noticed important facts like year numbers.
Oh, yeah.
losses.
Yeah, so I kind of went to just throw on his bumpster kit here, and the rods don't thread on, but apparently that's because I ordered for a 99 to 04 Mustang.
Yeah.
Riley never proofreads my orders, so anyway, so we'll have to send that back. So in the meantime, we did the other side. So both sides are installed. Complete now. One thing we did notice was once we put, oh, you took the caliper off. Once we put the pads on the caliper, it actually rubs the inside of the wheel. So by my calculations, we're gonna need about a 1/4 inch wheel spacer there, which I did read online about these wheels. Some guys needed them. Could put aftermarket brakes on. Hey,
Big jump.
narrower caliper. We'll get this straightened out here, and those tires should be in hopefully this week.
Hopefully, yeah. Get them all fitted. See how it looks for real.
Yeah. Snow on the ground, which means winter's coming.
In the summer.
Which means
We gotta get rid of these tires because we're going in 5 legs, so these are no good. So,
well, let's go down to Mexico and we'll
yeah.
get rid of these tires. I think that's going to be it for this video. We're done the front end, minus the bump steer kit, like I mentioned, but we'll get that coming.
And as you can see, we tried on Dad's wheels to see kind of where it would sit. And obviously on the rollers, it's not where it would be, but we had it pretty slammed out, and it definitely looks good. So.
Yeah, Riley wants to have it fairly low. So anyway, so we got it jacked up, and what we're gonna do, get started on, is pulling this rear end out, because we have double adjustable upper lower control arms to put on, coilovers for the rear, 5-lug axle upgrade, and like I mentioned before, we got a set of 410 gears from the junkyard. So those got to get in. So we got a little bit of work to do on the rear.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think that'll be it for this video. So if you like what you see, like,
Comment, subscribe.
And if you want, we actually, I don't know if you may not know, but we got our shirts in. So
SPPTV. Muscle Man.
you can get a hold of us through our Facebook page. Thanks for watching.
Yeah.
Check you later.